Hey y'all, I'm Ali. Welcome to Little Hill Homestead. You guys know that I think that our bread recipe can pretty much be made into anything. And so I've been putting it to the test and seeing if that is in fact true. So we've done donuts and we've done a few other things. Well, today I'm gonna be showing you pretzels. So I always have used the same recipe for pretzels. It's Sally's Baking Addiction. I love a lot of her recipes actually. But I wanted to see if ours works instead. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna form it the same way you would a pretzel. We're gonna boil it in baking soda and cook it the same way and see, is our universal sandwich bread dough, really as universal? It's a word, look it up, as I claim it to be. So come along with us. I do mine in a bread machine because, like I said, it's super early in the morning. I like to, before I have coffee and stuff, put it in here, get it going. It gives me about 2 hours before I really have to get in the kitchen and do any work. And that's ideal for me. So I'm getting it going. And if you don't want to use a bread machine, you can totally use your KitchenAid mixer or your Bosch mixer or whatever you've got and just make it like you would normal bread. We have recipes for both of those. And I will link in the description below the recipe as well. But come along as we make pretzels. I promise I'll be dressed by then too. Okay guys, we have our dough ready. So this is our sandwich bread recipe. We use it all the time. I made mine in a bread machine, but you could totally do it the other way, like I was saying. I will link both of those videos below on how we make the dough. I don't ever bake in my bread machine. I find it better to move it to the oven. So anyways, that's what we're talking about today. Today we're making pretzels out of it to see if it works. So first steps first. I love the pretzel recipe from Sally's Baking Addiction, I think is the website. She has an amazing pretzel recipe and we've used it before, but I wanted to see if we could use our recipe and make something similar. So I'm following a few of her instructions, like how we're gonna boil them and the time and temp and all that stuff. I'm using her recipe, but our dough. Ready? So first thing you need to do is take 2 baking sheets and line them with parchment paper. Once I get the parchment paper on though, I am going to spray them with a tiny bit of oil as well. I'm getting to the end of my parchment roll, can you tell? You guys know, I've talked about these a million times. They are like little oil containers we get off of Amazon. They're like $8 to $10, depending on, Amazon changes the prices. If you pull this little lever on the top, this opens up and it has a pour spout for your oil. Has a plunger on the back. If you pull it slow, it does like a straight shot. And then if you pull it fast, it does more like a Pam cooking spray type of a spray. We love these because you can use any oil that you want and not be committed to having like an aerosol can full of you don't know what is in it. Just gonna do both of them like that. Those little oil containers are in our Amazon store, which is linked below. Okay, so I have our parchment lined sheets ready to go. I'm just gonna set them off to the side as best as I can. Now for our dough. I like to keep, sorry, I'm keeping things out of the way. I keep flour in a shaker like this. It's a disaster, but I use it literally like every day. So any of my doughs, before I put them on the counter, this is just all-purpose flour. If you're doing sourdough, you can use rice flour or whatever. This is all-purpose flour. I like to sprinkle it on the counter just to give myself a really good working surface. So my dough, let me punch it down a little bit. Went a little crazy. While that's going down, let me get the cutter that I use, because I forgot. I use a bench scraper to cut my dough. It just makes my life easier. I should mention, I have 9 cups of water going in a big pot. That is how we're gonna boil the dough to get that pretzel texture and flavor. So I have that going. I will add baking soda to it. And I also have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. So 2 little steps that I did to get myself ready. I'm not sure how many this is gonna make, if it's gonna make 8, 10, or 12. We're gonna kind of aim for 12 and see where we end up. So I'm gonna section this into 2, and then each of those into 2. So we're at 4, and then divide that into 3s. I'm not like a person who needs to weigh the dough to be spot on perfect. I just do my best, you guys. I did my best. If I get some that are a little bit smaller, that's okay. I'll eat those ones and my kids can take the big ones because that's what's bound to happen, right? If you get some that you feel like are real small, like that one, just take a little dough from your other ones. All right, let go. Let go my ego. What am I on? 10, 11, and 12. All right, there's our 12 dough balls. This one seems a little small. Probably not, it's probably in my head. Anyways, we have our 12. Like I said, I like to flour my surface just to give myself some working space. We're gonna create ropes out of our dough to form our pretzels. And so all I do is start rolling them out. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't done this with this exact dough before, so I don't know how it's gonna react. I mean, pretzels are essentially bread, right? So it can't be wrong, unless I did use bread flour, so that should be interesting. You guys like it when I have failures and flops, right? What are we gonna call it? I don't remember. I need to get a name for it. But I don't like my pretzels to be too thin because you like it when they get like substantial and delicious, right? But you need it to be able to form. So I probably have a little too much flour to get this rolling. I like when people do like this thing and get it to stretch out as well. So to form a pretzel, I'm going backwards from you guys. You cross this over once so you get like a ring, circular. Then you cross those over each other one time and then pull it back towards itself. Then I kind of stretch it out. It's not the most beautiful pretzel in the world, but I don't work at Auntie Anne's or a pretzel place. This is just down home cooking, y'all. I'm gonna put these on my parchment paper and then hope that the next one has a little less flour on it so I get a better shape. Yeah, that one's not sticking to itself to make that nice final like tie you have to do to get them to stick. So let's try this trick again. That seemed to do okay. All right. Again, I just cross them over each other, give them a little twist again, and then fold it back on itself. And there's my little pretzels. Nothing fancy, but I hope they taste good. They're forming, so step one, we're good. I will link the Sally's Baking Addiction version below, so if you don't want to make them out of bread flour and you just want a straight up pretzel, I'll have that below for you guys. We did when we were in the Amish community too. We got pretzel salt, so it's like a coarser salt. It was like dirt cheap. I can't remember. It was like $1 for this big old container of it, so we're gonna be trying that out today too. Whoop! Nobody saw that. It's fine. So I'm gonna continue forming all of these. And I'm sure that there's YouTube videos you could watch if you want like the perfect pretzel, but I just want them to taste perfect. I don't care if they look gorgeous. They do puff up significantly when you bake them, so it's okay to get your rope a little bit thinner than what I'm probably doing. But I also like to be able to put butter on mine at the end and it doesn't fall through the holes. You want it to get stuck. Butter traps are awesome. Yeah, she said it, I know. All right. Cross it over itself, give it a twist. Fold it on itself. We're getting better, we're getting better. Okay, I'm gonna go finish folding these and I'll bring you back when it's time to drop them in the water. Okay, I was telling you guys we got pretzel salt when we were up in the Amish area of Ohio. We got it from Fig Tree. This whole thing, which is a pound of salt, was 68 cents. So it's pretzel salt, it's just a coarser texture. And so we just got that because I thought it would be fun. So I have that just to put on our pretzels. We're gonna be adding, now that our water is boiling, we're adding a half a cup of baking soda, to it. That was fun, scared the bejesus out of myself. And then of course, you guys told me this is called a spider spoon. We love this thing. I use it for all kinds of random stuff, but I'm gonna just stir this a little bit just to get my baking soda mixed in and make sure none fell to the bottom or anything. I like this because I feel like I can lower my pretzels and let them drain really well with it, and they're not very expensive. I think we got this from our local Asian store, and it was like under $5 for this thing, and we've had it forever. So, now that our baking soda is in, our pretzels are ready to drop. I have 6 ready to go on each of our baking sheets. They're ready to go. Now my pretzels leave something to be desired. Shape-wise, like I said, I'm not a pretzelateur. That's a word. But as they bake and stuff, they change anyways. Plus, they taste delightful. It doesn't matter. So, and as I pull them out or off my baking sheet, I will stretch them just a little bit to get a little more of a pretzel-y shape before I drop it in the water. So all I'm gonna do is drop it in my water, and once I do, they get 30 seconds. I do kind of flip them around in there at the halfway mark. But like I said, just kind of stretch them out a little bit so you get more of a pretzel shape, because they will puff up when they hit this water. So I'm just doing like a, yeah. I like to get all 6 of them in there because I can. Do it in 2 batches. Like I said, nobody cares what they look like as long as they taste great. Okay, looks matter a little. So they're in. I'm gonna set a timer for 30 seconds. I know some of them will be a little over, but it's fine. Kitchen timer, 30, start. And I'm gonna flip the ones that I originally put in just so that I'm sure they're boiled on all sides. I love this thing for turning them. It makes just your life easy. If you have a smaller pot or want to do smaller batches, you totally can. It's your prerogative. I can do what I want to do. Like, let's be real, right? It's the same thing. Apparently, I just was listening to songs in the 80s and 90s that were just telling me what's up. Anyways, my baking sheet is ready, and we're ready. All right, so I'm gonna go to the ones I know I put in first, and I'm gonna show you guys. Remember how we pulled them all back apart? They go right back. They get puffy and they go back into whatever shape they wanna be in. You can't tell them what's up. Now some of them this is upside down. You'll know because the knot that sits on the top is gonna be flipped over. Just when you put them onto your paper, flip them. You want that pretty little knot face up. Boop. 4. 5. And 6. I love to do big batches of these. Normally when I do them, I do doubles or triples because we freeze them and the kids can pull them out and microwave them as a snack. If I freeze them, I don't put the salt on them because it falls off. But all I do is take a little bit of my salt and lightly sprinkle it on there so that when we put them into the oven, the salt sticks. If you're not a salt fan, if you want cinnamon and sugar, I sprinkle it on as soon as they come out of the oven. I dip them in butter and then do that. But salt, I like to have it incorporated in there. I'm not a heavy salter. I'm actually one of those people that when I buy a pretzel, I flake the salt off so you just have the residual flavor. But I'm gonna do this one like a normal salt level and the other one a higher salt. Okay, I'm gonna set this one to the side. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. Then we're gonna pop them in the oven. I'm just gonna give them a little dunk, make sure that everybody's getting watered on. It's not a garden, y'all. They puff up beautifully. Let me see if I can show you. See, they poof up. They're doing great. And then what I do is at like the 15-second mark, I'll just give them a flip. That spider spoon makes it so easy. I'll see if I can find one on Amazon that isn't a small fortune for you guys. Oop, that one was already flipped. Our time is up. Okay, let's pull them. Okay, I know this was our first one to go in, so you'll come out first if I can get you. This one I lost a little of the twist. It's okay. Just make sure that water is drained off. Back on our cooking sheet. A cooking sheet. Whoops. Go back, yo. These ones want to be a little ornery cusses. That's what my grandpa always used to call me when I was like kind of a brat. You ornery cuss. What in the world? He also only called me sis, which one of you guys every morning wishes me a good morning, sis, and it always makes me think of him. So, okay, I'm turning my water off, and I'm gonna get my pretzels in my oven. Like I said, 400 degrees. These ones I'm gonna just do a little less salty. 400 degrees, and they're gonna cook. How long are they gonna cook for? She said 12 to 15 minutes, so that's what we're gonna do. And that's what I've done before, and it's been glorious. You know, my oven is a stink butt, and so sometimes I have to do like shuffling of them. I will do that probably at the 10-minute mark or 8-minute mark and check them out. So cover that up just so I don't accidentally get it wet, and our pretzels are going into the oven. In they go, yo. Okay. I'm setting my timer, y'all. 8 minutes. We'll check them out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go clean up. Okay, we're at the 8-minute mark. I'm gonna flip these and, woo! I'm gonna turn this one this way. This is not the ideal, but our oven is old, and there you go. And turn this one around, and I'm gonna put this one on the lower shelf, and this one on the top shelf. Then I'm gonna continue cooking for another 7 or 8 minutes. But they're starting to look good. They look like pretzels, so we're somewhere, right? Let me get a timer set. I'm also gonna melt some butter so that as soon as they come out of the oven, we can brush some butter on them. As much as I love to be the person that can melt enough butter to actually like dunk them like you see in stores, we don't have, well, we do have the butter, but I'm not gonna use it for that. So I like to brush it on and be a little generous. So I'm gonna melt about 4 to 6 tablespoons of butter for this batch. So I'm gonna do that and then get my timer set. I'm gonna turn you around so that you can see what the final result looks like a little bit closer up. So let me turn you around. Okay, one of my trays was the top one, needed a little bit longer to cook, so I let it go for about another 1.5 minutes beyond the first tray, and that's just my oven. But in total, they did take about 15 minutes to cook. They look like pretzels, so we're gonna put butter on them, and then I'm gonna bring Shawn in here. We're gonna do a taste test once they cool down just a tiny bit. I'm gonna start with this tray since it came out of the oven first, but I'm just gonna give them a good butter douse, because, I mean, come on now. If you don't like butter, and I was saying, if you wanna do cinnamon and sugar, all you have to do is put the butter on and then sprinkle cinnamon and sugar on top. We did salt on all of them just because we wanted to make our lives a little easier today. But see, like you get little butter pockets. Nobody complains about a butter pocket, y'all. They look nice and puffy. They look like a pretzel. My curiosity is the texture gonna be the same as pretzel? We boiled it in the baking soda, so it should be, but I don't know. So I'm wondering now, if you made a pretzel hot dog bun, would you basically just make pretzels or buns and then boil them in water before you bake them to get that chewy texture? I'm not sure, y'all. Now I'm curious. I might have to do that next. Well, let's see. Before we do that, let's see if the pretzels turned out. Okay, let these sit for just a second. They all got a good dose of butter, and I'm gonna call Shawn in here, and we're gonna try them out for you. Hold on.
Look delicious.
They look like pretzels, right? Mm-hmm. All right, that one's the best pretty not.
You want to eat?
I'm gonna rip it up right now and see.
So that I don't die?
Yeah, you won't die. Okay. Can you stand closer so I can see if you're in it? You're good.
Hey!
Hey, The Martian, great movie. Okay, let's see. I mean, it's gonna be like a hot pretzel.
Okay, well, I want it to be hot. I still want to burn them out.
There's only one way to find out.
Okay.
All right, here's our finished pretzel. I picked the prettiest one because, you know, why not? So overall, we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's the prettiest.
It's the prettiest one. It stayed in a pretzel shape. So there's butter and salt on them, and it's time to give it a whirl.
I'm gonna wreck the prettiest one.
That's okay. I'm curious to see if they're the texture of a pretzel at all, or if it's just like a piece of bread in the shape of a pretzel.
It resembles a pretzel, but it's not exactly like a pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor is very much so.
They're a little moister.
They're a little moister. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was looking for.
Chewier.
Yeah, you can kind of see.
Like if I let them rise and then boil them, I wonder.
I don't know. They got that good outside crust, like a pretzel. Mm-hmm. They taste like a pretzel. Just a little doughy. But I kind of like that, actually.
It doesn't not work.
Yeah, obviously we don't like it. We're not talking, we're just eating. It's really good.
It's a little salty for me, but that's, like I was saying earlier,
like that on a pretzel.
I tend to salt them for him and the other kid that lives here. Not the other kid, the kid that lives here. And then I tend to flake it off, but...
Well, you're probably accurate. The outside has that perfect
It'd be so good with the cinnamon and sugar on it instead.
The outside really has that pretzel crust.
But the middle's a little doughy. Not uncooked dough, though.
No, like
Tender.
one of those perfect restaurants where you get the dinner rolls.
Ooh, they make a good...
doughy.
What about a garlic knot?
Okay. You have some?
No, I mean texture-wise. Would it make a good...
Yeah, I want garlic nuts.
Would it make a good garlic knot?
I would think so, yes.
I think so, too. Yeah, what do I have? Okay. Would you call that a success or a flop?
Absolute success. I'll take a big bite.
Are you biased because you're married to me?
No. We have a rule in this family, I don't like it, don't eat it. And we're honest with each other about how things taste. It's success. What's the question? Is it exactly like a pretzel? No. Does it resemble a pretzel? Yes. The outside, once again, very much like a pretzel. Inside's doughy, which sometimes pretzels can be a little doughy, but definitely more doughy like a roll.
Yeah.
So if the question is it exactly like a pretzel? Then no, not a success. Does it resemble a pretzel and is it a success that I will eat it again in this house? Yes.
Should we eat another one now?
In some ways, I think I'll actually prefer this to a pretzel. No, I eat pretzel on
To
my
me,
table. I don't know.
you can't compare it to like the frozen stuff you get at Sam's Club that you need to reheat.
Oh,
You know, those
it's way better
super
than
pretzels. Those are not
You got to talk
pretzels.
about fair food.
Yeah.
This is fair food.
Yeah. If I was gonna get like a fresh pretzel that's hanging like on the rack, just freshly made, like that's, you know what I mean, that they're keeping warm at like a.
Yeah, well, that's where I'd say it's still different.
I don't know. Hold on. Let's try one more. Let's see if it's a thicker. Let's see which one. This is a different. We'll try this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll try this one.
Where's my cheese sauce?
You want some cheese sauce?
No, it's okay.
It's the same thing. I don't know why we're
Doesn't that
trying.
look exactly like pretzel? I mean,
Yeah, it looks like a pretzel. The texture is like a pretzel, but it's breadier.
It's just a little softer, yeah.
It's a little breadier. But we obviously like it. Ow, it's hot though.
That's why I took the top piece.
Well, if you're looking for a pretzel that doesn't taste like a pretzel but totally tastes like a pretzel, success. Anyway, thank you so much for coming along on this. Oh, okay. Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Need a little mustard.
It's lunchtime,
But-
can you tell?
Need a little mustard because I always eat mustard with my pretzels. Always.
So,
No sad cheese. Oh yeah, that works.
it works? All right, hold on. I'm going to take the doughy center. Like, look at, it's very tender in the middle though. Like, look at that.
I
Oh,
got it.
okay, go.
Maybe it's the mustard, but you know how when you get a pretzel dog and a pretzel bun? Pretzel bun doesn't taste exactly like a pretzel. This is kind of like that. Boom. Nailed it.
Okay, when I was talking about how do they make pretzel buns a few minutes ago, Shawn was not even near me.
I was cutting my hair.
Had a whole thing about that. Like,
Oh.
I wonder if.
Well, I haven't watched the video yet, so.
Man, that, okay.
It's
if
good.
you're looking for
It's really
doughy
good.
goodness, obviously it's good. We keep
You know
eating
what?
it. But
Now, the next time we have hot dogs, I'm going to make her make these in the buns.
I just said I would try that for him.
Was that here?
No, you're in the other room, but apparently you're osmosising through my brain.
No. We hang out way too much.
Nah, we're good. All right, there you guys go. 1.5 pretzels later. Make them, try them. You let me know what you think. We think they're pretty good. We think they're good. We're gonna go make more. Anyways, I'll let you guys know. Once we freeze them, I'm curious to see how they hold up. Well, we're not gonna freeze this batch, but anyways. And if you want cinnamon sugar, that would be a bomb. I might go do that over some salty and cinnamon sugar. Yeah, okay. Okay, go eat pretzels, people.